Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Fragrances and Coffee. Today we're going to talk about what men's fragrances that are still relevant today. Classic fragrances. Our last episode we did one for women's. Now we're going to do one for men. And these are some of the fragrances that I used to wear back in the day. That I personally think that they're still good, that even for modern times. And I noticed that there's a new younger generation that are discovering classic fragrances. Like, for example, this one. I'm getting 18-year-olds coming and asking for the original 𝗏𝗏, and which came out, in the mid-90s, I believe? I wore this in the mid-90s.
Exactly in mid-90s, 95.
Yeah, 1995. So we'll start off with this. Yeah, it's crazy how a newer generation are discovering these old-time classics. It blows my mind. Hey, that's good. That means it's still relevant. That means it's still modern. It's still modern enough for anyone to wear it. To be honest. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's a nice fragrance. It did not age at all.
Yes.
Like, Yeah. I like it. So
The notes: lavender, mint, cardamom, bergamot, artemisia, cinnamon,
Okay.
orange blossom. Cinnamon? I never smelled cinnamon in this. Wow.
no,
Caraway,
Very
vanilla, tonka beans, amber, sandalwood, cedar. Yeah, vanilla, tonka beans. These are there. Yeah, but
it does have a bit
Cinnamon.
of a cinnamon feel to it, but it's not strong. It's there in the background.
it's
It has a
taken
spice
over
to it.
by cardamom and lavender
Yeah.
and mint. Maybe that's why.
It is in the background.
lavender is very heavy.
Lavender is very
Yeah.
heavy. That's true. Yep.
I think that's the star of the show actually right now.
Already,
I think so.
we just started the show.
It's
Come on,
pretty
man.
prominent.
You can't just pick one out of the one.
Don't quit your day job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. Do you think it's still relevant?
It is.
It
yeah.
is, yes.
It is. Yeah.
I agree. I tend to agree. It's
That-
still relevant.
That probably is one of the best sellers in that. Oh well, no, there are some good hitters there, but it is one of the best seller in like a high end
Yes.
price range because
Yeah.
the others are not as.
And like I
expensive.
said, a lot of people from the old days are
Yes.
coming back wearing this, and the newer generation are coming to buy this too. Because
Yeah.
it's really weird how all these young
I
kids are fixated on Jean-Paul Gaultier now.
Yes.
So
And the
I
young
think-
kids, they leans more toward the newer
Elixir and all
flankers.
that,
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. Let's not talk about that.
Yes.
But that I think has been voted #1 for many years.
Yeah. Okay.
In like magazines and all that, fashion magazines. So
it's a
I think
fragrance that won't
that's-
go out
yeah.
of style. That's for sure.
Well, never say never.
That's true. All right.
That's a good one.
We'll
yeah.
move on to one of my favorites. that
Funny. Okay, sorry. Funny thing, I've never worn this.
You never worn it?
Never owned it. Never worn it.
I used to have a sample. I never bought a full bottle. When you go buy cologne back in the day, they would,
Yes.
like till they give you samples. That's as far as I got to having my in my collection. So I did wear it, but wasn't enough for me to go buy a whole bottle back
And
then.
then there was a whole new batch hunting for this too, right?
Yes.
What was the other? BPI batch?
BPI, yes.
I have a
BPI,
few
yeah.
of them in my
In your safe.
safe somewhere.
We're gonna have. To
I have seen a
We're gonna have to
𝗏𝗏
get
bottle with a
I can hear you.
the sprayer like Guerlain, the puffer sprayer. There was a vintage bottle of 𝗏𝗏. It used to look like that puffer spray.
Really?
Yeah.
For men?
Yes. for
I've never
men.
seen that for men. I've seen for women, but
Going back to what I was saying, we
Yeah.
got to get his. Combination.
Yeah.
all you need is a box cutter.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That easy. Now,
Okay, now this, you made a big issue of that you think this is the older packaging and this is better than the newer packaging, right?
yes.
You know what? Okay, I'm going to bring the new bottle too.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's compare that.
And while Samir is off to getting the newer batch, let's take a whiff.
Yeah.
I love it. It came out in 2004, and I've been wearing it for 20 years. I'm on my. This would be because I went back when Samir brought in the old packaging. I ended up
Yeah.
getting. So how many times have I? How many bottles?
This,
I can't
this
even remember
is
how many
this
bottles
is
I
really
went through.
beautiful. I know you showed me this, and
Yeah, I remember when it first came out,
Yes.
it was like this bottle, and then they changed the bottle, and I think they changed the formula. And then they would somehow he got his hands on these.
There you go. Let's try that.
Yeah. See. Hmm. No.
No?
This is stronger.
Actually, it is
This.
more sweet.
Yeah.
Which one? The new one?
The
old
The
old
old one, yeah. Old
And
one.
it's a bit stronger. This is very light.
I
in my
wore it a
opinion,
couple of times.
like-
Okay, it's very hard to compare because
Well, like I said, I've been wearing it for 20 years, and I know the difference because then after when they reformulated, I was wearing this for many
Yeah.
years,
Okay.
but because I had no choice, right? Because it still had the same smell, but it was lighter. They made it lighter.
that's with everything,
I think,
though.
yeah.
That's
with
why
everything.
That's why when you brought the original back, I had to
Yeah.
grab it. I mean, come on, it's.
But the new bottle looks better than the old, though. I
You
think.
think so?
I think so.
Yeah.
The bottle looks better. I think.
They modernized it,
Anyways,
right? Because
So
you
the
know,
notes. This came in 2004, by the way. So
Yeah.
Okay.
amber woody.
Yes.
The notes would be something ginger. Ooh, there's ginger in there.
Yeah, there is. I could.
Let's extract
There
that.
is a hint of
The ginger is
the
right there.
coolness and spicy thing
Cardamom,
coming from.
bergamot, green
Okay.
mandarin, wild rose, nutmeg, cedar, spicy notes, tonka beans, gray musk, cedar, oriental woodsy notes, and patchouli. Patchouli.
Okay. The sweetness is coming from the tonka bean.
It's a spicy fragrance too. Like it's the cardamom. You could smell the cardamom for sure.
Cardamom is there. Rose, you can get a hint of
I
rose.
get a
Rose
hint
is
of
there,
rose.
yeah.
The ginger is very potent right in the beginning.
Ginger, I can because my nose is blind to ginger.
No,
I can.
I got
can.
the ginger right off the bat. I always knew that this was a very heavy ginger fragrance from day one.
Patchouli, all the other notes, they're just there in the background. Can't
Yeah.
really detect, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
Do you think it's relevant?
oh yeah, of course.
I tend
It
to
is,
agree.
Yes.
Yeah. It's no one's ever copied it. Like you know how nowadays fragrances are starting to smell the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one's ever copied them.
Yes.
It's still an original.
Copying is
scent.
a very new sort of a trend.
Yeah, it's getting
Yes.
annoying. Everything's starting to smell the same.
Yeah, but there are thousands of fragrances almost coming out in the space of
Yes.
3-4 months now.
Yeah.
Okay, add the
Especially-
Middle Eastern to it. So
Yeah.
of course they're going to get overlap thing,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Even before Middle Eastern thing, just look at Aventus. It got crazy overlapping. Like
Yes.
every brand was bringing their own pineapple scent. So
I mean, especially in these designers, when
Yeah.
you look at the notes and the perfumer
they're similar.
in different brands,
They're-
it's done by the same perfumer, and they smell very similar to like.
Who is the perfumer for this again? I forgot.
That would be not me. Mr. Anton, I don't want to ruin his last
Anton
name.
Maison Du.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, this is gone.
It's, well,
It's pretty much
it's
gone.
there. But-
it's light, yeah.
It's very light. They made it light. It's still strong. It's
Okay.
still going.
It is.
John
And I
was
know-
right.
and I-
Get the old one if you can.
Yeah, I noticed it on my skin. I noticed the difference. Like I said, I've been wearing it
It
for
is,
20
yes,
years.
You're right.
And like I said, when Samir brought this
John still
classic
got
one,
the
I had to bloody get it.
cool water. Let's go. Next
All right,
one.
Cool Water. This
Okay.
boy was this ever famous in the 90s. Everybody wore this. It's like the Aventus of the 80s. Like, well, it came out in the late 80s, but people
Okay.
got crazy about it in the 90s.
You mean the Green Irish Tweet of the 80s?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
They
Well, it
came
came- it-
around
it
more
came
or
out in
less on the
19
same time.
it came out in 1988.
Creed and this.
I don't know about that.
No, Creed.
This came
Yeah.
out in 88.
This came
uh,
out in 1988.
Green Irish
Okay.
Tweet should be
But the
sidetracked.
thing is, when it came out in 1988, people didn't get hooked on it till the early 90s.
Yes.
Like same here. I think I started wearing it in 92. I discovered it. There you go.
Sorry.
Not because I used to hang out with a guy that's all he wore.
Green Irish Tweet came out in 85.
There you go.
85, okay.
So they copied Green Irish Tweet then.
But I heard that perfumer behind Green Irish Tweed, and this was
Same.
Cool Water was Pierre Bourdon.
Is
They
it-
never mentioned Creed, never mentioned about Pierre Bourdon, but
Is it Pierre Bourdon?
Doesn't say here. Yeah, it does. Sorry, yeah, he is. He's right. Yeah, Mr. Bourdon.
This is still a good fragrance.
Oh man, it
It's
just reminds me of Green Irish Tweet though.
this reminds me so much of the 90s, man. Like
Okay, the notes. It has seawater in it.
Yes.
So it's not regular
It is-
water.
It's,
Yeah.
it's,
It's seawater.
It's an aquatic fragrance.
Yes.
Then it has lavender, mint, green notes, rosemary. Why are they throwing curveballs here? What is this? Kelon?
Kelon, it's the
Kelwan?
Kelon is the
Coriander?
synthetic note for the mineralic smell,
Okay.
the oceanic smell.
So they have seawater and that. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you do chemistry on these things? How do you know all these things? How much
Okay.
time do you guys have, man? Okay. Sandalwood, neroli, geranium, jasmine, musk, oak moss, tobacco, cedar, ambergris. I don't smell tobacco in this.
No, I don't either.
No.
That's one thing I never got with this one. I could smell a little bit of the mint. That was
Yes.
more in the
Mint is there. Lavender, you can get the
lavender for sure.
seawater. Again, salty water, I guess.
Yeah,
Marine water?
that was
Yes.
right in the beginning. I smelled that. That didn't last long. It jumped right into the lavender and mint. Yeah.
It's basically whatever base scent, so I don't know if they have mentioned that or not,
Nope,
but
there's no vetiver in this. Well, they haven't mentioned it, but it's such an old fragrance. I'm pretty sure if
Yes.
there was, they would have put it by now.
I remember, man, this always being sold out at Sears or the Bay because back then everybody was going
That was poor
crazy
man's
for this
Creed. That
fragrance.
was poor man's Creed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody was
You're
buying,
right.
but see, the thing is, I never heard of Creed in the '90s.
That's why it was poor man's Creed.
Yeah, I never heard of them. I never knew about niche fragrances back
Okay,
then.
I did not knew about Creed till 2012. Okay, so let's not go there now.
Yeah, same here. Maybe around that time, I found out about Creed. When
I think
everybody
so many people were not aware of Creed name until Aventus
came out.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
I didn't know what Creed existed until people started posting Aventus this, Aventus that. It's like, okay,
Then I realized Creed is around for a while.
all right.
Okay, next one.
Do you wait? Do you still think it's relative? Do you think it's relative still?
I think we did a very poor job compared to women's.
Okay.
All of these, I think, I would buy, even for myself.
Okay.
All the women's one that we did, there were few that I would buy.
Well,
The others I wouldn't. So I think we did a poor job with women's. We did a great job with this. Everyone is relative, I think.
well, we'll get to
Maybe,
that.
maybe. No, but I think
Because
it's
for me, there is one that I don't think it's relevant, but I still like it. But this one, I think it's still relevant.
it still sells like crazy.
Yeah, it does. From all ages too. Like a younger generation is discovering this too because number
Yes.
one, it's
But-
affordable
Yes.
and it smells great.
You know,
Yes.
crazy part is this can easily, all of these can fit into our top 10 bestsellers here.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
All of these, not just one, all of them.
For sure.
So I guess needless to say, they're all relative right now.
Do you think it's relevant?
Yes. It's right.
There you go.
We'll
Next
move
one.
on. Next. A fragrance that I used to wear throughout the 90s when it came out. I think it came out in 89, I believe.
Eternity, you said came
I think
1 year
in
after the
89.
women's, right?
Yeah, 1 year after women's. The men's version, that is.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I used to love this one back in the day.
Oh, I still love this. I don't know why.
It's nice.
This is like my comfort scent.
Is it?
I
You
never.
think so?
Well, I don't wear it right now. But
Again-
I don't wear it still.
Again, a fragrance that no one's copied. Like
That's
this
true.
is-
Okay.
I never smelt anything like Eternity. Now, I used to wear this, saying that I used to wear this. Would I go back to wearing this again? No. For me, it's not relative anymore. That's me.
Oh, you just snapped on this
Just this.
out of everything
But
else.
don't get
you
me
snapped
wrong.
on that.
Don't get me wrong. I like it because I used to wear it. But for me, I think it's a little outdated.
I think it's
Like
still
the
relevant.
obsession. I used to wear that.
Obsession.
too.
Okay, obsession is.
That's outdated. I was a victim of obsession.
Okay.
I wore that throughout the 90s too. Well, late 80s, early 90s until I went on this. It's nice, but I couldn't see myself going back to it. So for me, it's what are the notes?
Sorry, the server went down. I'm waiting for it.
Okay.
Well, that's what
Okay.
happens when you do on the
Okay,
go.
Do you think it's relevant?
I think it is relevant. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, hold on. I got it back. Yay, the net kicked in. Okay. Lavender, lemon, bergamot, mandarin orange. Ooh. Sage, juniper berries, basil, geranium, jasmine, coriander, orange blossom, lily of the valley, lily, sandalwood, musk, vetiver, Brazilian rosewood, amber. You got all of that?
Yeah. No.
Any comment on any of these notes?
It's
No.
It doesn't. No.
Okay, which of the notes can you pick though? That's one of my favorite scents, but
Maybe
sage?
maybe the sage.
Sage is probably the one that's...
Yeah, for me it's the sage.
Yes, I get lavender.
Lavender, yeah, in the,
Lavender
in
and
the,
sage.
in
That's
the
all I'm getting.
background, yeah.
It is the same old barbershoppy kind of
Vibe to it,
masculine
yeah.
scent. Yeah.
Well,
And it was another popular fragrance in the
Yes.
90s. Everybody was wearing this one as well. Now we're gonna go back.
in the recent days, this has slowed down in the sales
Okay.
too. But
Yeah, I noticed that.
yeah, I think it still is one of the... I think it's one of the still a good
There was a
scent,
time,
yeah.
man, you were always sold out of this.
That was like crazy seller. Like
Yeah.
it used to sell like crazy.
Now people are jumping on Air. Apparently, Eternity Air. Everyone loves that one.
I don't like that though.
I don't like it
It's
either.
just
But,
generic.
but people
fresh.
like it.
Well,
Tend to like it because you're always sold out of that.
let's hope those people are not watching this now. We still have to sell that.
You want to move on?
Yeah, let's move on to Mr.
We're gonna go
Drakkar.
to this. Where this was my signature scent of when I was in high school in the 1980s. I started wearing this 1985. I got it for Christmas from my parents because I asked for it for Christmas. It was one of my first.
He's really good with all the names and numbers,
I
the
because
years and all that.
Christmas of '85 because I remember.
What were you doing in
people
'82?
I was.
Huh? Still a thought?
You were still,
You were still a thought.
You were still wearing diapers, probably.
No, he was
Both
still
of you.
a thought.
Oh, both of you guys were probably still in your diapers.
I just said we were still a thought.
Okay, I'm old. But this
Oh,
brings
man,
me,
this is
this brings
beautiful.
me back memories,
Oh, yeah.
man. High school dances when I used to go. This was.
It still smells really
It
good.
still smells good, man. Sometimes I think about going back to this. It reminds me of us as when I was a teenager, man. It's like
This is beautiful. Lavender is becoming a very common fragrance note in all
I
of
think
these.
it's leather and this barbershoppy, masculine, aromatic fougere kind of scents
I think-
were back in the days were.
I think we
very
did a
popular.
very similar lineup. These
Yes.
are like one
That's
sort
what
of
I'm
genre.
noticing. Yeah. Except this.
except for this one. I
Except those
think.
two, yeah,
Yeah.
those two probably.
This one,
Okay, notes.
it took over the original Drakkar that came out in 1973.
I've never seen that.
I did. I smelled it. My dad used to wear that in the early 70s. It was a clear bottle, and it was like kind of like orangey. The
So
juice.
the
Okay.
intense Drakkar, is that close to that now?
The intense is a little bit close to this.
So it's not close to the original? Somebody mentioned that smells close to the original
Maybe.
Drakkar.
I can't remember what the original
Okay.
smells like, but I remember
I forgot.
smelling it when it was on my dad. My dad wore a lot of good stuff back in the 70s. He had a
Well,
good collection.
That's where you got it from, I guess.
Yeah.
So the notes are lavender, lemon, bergamot, rosemary, mint, lemon, verbena, basil. I was about to say Brazil. No,
Brazil?
the Brazil is not in it. It's basil. Artemisia again, juniper, coriander, carnation, cinnamon, wormwood, angelica, jasmine, oak moss, leather, pine tree needles, fir, sandalwood, vetiver, patchouli, cedar, amber, raisin. There are a lot of notes in tiny little bottle.
Oh, by the way, it's pronounced juniper.
Juniper
not
berries.
juniper.
Where is it?
pronounced
Did I
juniper.
even put juniper? Where is it?
Juniper.
Oh, juniper.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I
say.
believe it's juniper, but because I've heard other people say juniper.
Why put letter if it's not meant to be there?
Yeah.
It's like the
like the
you know
scent we
jupe.
have. Yo.
It's really called
Jupe.
jupe.
Yeah, and all of people say that.
Yeah, it's jupe.
Hey, it's in Canada. I'm gonna go little jupe. That's what they told me
Hey.
to do it.
That's it. You're in Canada. That's right. You have to say the way we say it. Like I said, man, this reminds me so much when I was 15 years old, going on 16, when I first got this.
Juniper berries. That's berries, right? Juniper.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I was 16 when I got this. Because I turned 16 in December.
It's baffling. There's so many notes in there.
You know,
Which one do you pick? I don't think I
I
can
picked
pick.
the juniper.
I don't know what
juniper
that
berries.
smells like.
You could tell the juniper berries. This is yeah. This is such a good This was such a good fragrance. Everybody in my high
It
school,
is still.
There's a
I
head of
think it's
patchouli in there,
still
though.
a
every
very
guy
good
in my
patchouli
high,
is easy to
every guy
smell.
in my high school wore it. That's where I got it
Yeah.
from. I used to ask the guys I used to hang out with, "What do you got? What are you wearing? What cologne is that?" They would say it's the new Drakkar Noir.
You remember the price at that time?
Oh yeah, it was like
It's about 80.
for 100 mil was like $50 maybe.
Really?
Maybe
At that
less than
time?
that.
Oh my god.
Maybe yeah, those days was cheap.
But no, but that's not cheap though, man.
Yeah.
But
it's expensive.
Guy Larouche, it wasn't a popular brand, so you have to remember.
Yeah, but $50 in 80s is a lot of money.
Yeah, I'm talking about today's standard. It would be cheap, but it was probably
No,
And
it's
you know
not
what's-
cheap in today's
Yeah.
standard, man. Come on, if you think about $50
I'm
in
talking about
80s,
the way we
that's like
see it
$300
now.
probably right
Yeah.
now.
This came in a different bottle back then. It was
Okay.
like you know,
Yes.
like my Chanel bottle
Yeah,
I just showed you.
I have
it
seen
looked
those
like
bottles.
that. Yeah,
Yes.
it was a skinny bottle.
Mr. Chrome, let's go to Chrome now.
Oh, wait a minute. You think it's relevant? So
I think we established that all of
We
these are
did we?
relevant. Yeah.
okay, well I still do. Boy, all right, Chrome. Another beautiful fragrance that I loved wearing back in the day. And I was actually telling you guys that I was thinking of going back to it because I've been going back to old fragrances lately because I'm getting tired of
In
all the new stuff smelling the
96.
same.
This came in 96 too.
Yep. I was living in Malta when I bought mine. I bought mine in Malta and
So what were you doing in 96?
I was living in Malta.
What were you
No,
doing
sorry.
in 96?
I was living in Malta in 98, but I bought it just before I left for Malta. Actually, then I bought another bottle in Malta. Okay.
I'm not a fan of this now.
Really? I still love it. I have its flankers, but I don't have the original anymore. But that's why I'm thinking of going back to the original.
It's relevant. I know people
Yes.
buy it. It's freshy and all that. I'm not a fan of that particular one.
I love it.
So
Back in the day when I used to wear this when I would dress up.
the notes:
That's how I used to wear it.
lemon, rosemary, bergamot, neroli, pineapple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Lemon, but I could smell the lemon.
Yeah, hint of lemon.
Oh, it's beautiful. I love it. No, I still hate it.
Sweetness.
Jasmine, oak moss. Okay, that's a weird. Cyclamen. Like, what are these notes? Cyclamen. Coriander, musk, oak moss, cedar, sandalwood, cardamom, Brazilian rosewood, tonka beans.
In the end, I know it become woody. You lost your signal again.
Yeah, I was trying to see what cyclamen is.
Okay, yeah. It is sweet.
You think it's sweet?
This has that sweetness.
It's a floral, okay.
It's a bit floral and it's a bit citrusy.
Okay.
It has an aquatic feel to it, but there is
Yes.
no watery notes in there. But it does have that little bit of aquatic feel
But
to it.
on
Odor
initial
profile,
spray, I get something metallic or sandy kind of smell. I don't know.
When it first sprayed, I got a hint of the lemon. Like it
Okay.
almost smells like I don't want to say Mr. Clean
Okay.
because that's insulting it, but it has that nice fresh lemony.
I don't think
Okay.
you can insult that fragrance.
No, it's
If it stood for that long and people still buy it, you can't do nothing to it.
I still like
Yeah.
it. Like I said, I'm considering going back to it.
Don't come near me when you do.
Oh, I'm gonna come near you for sure now. Now that you said that. All right. Do you think it's still relevant?
Yes.
Even though you're not crazy about
I'm not crazy, but it is, yeah. I can see
I
people
think so.
still
You think
wearing
so
that.
too? All right. Let's move on to another 1990s.
You know what keep things like this alive? Stuff like Sauvage and
Yes.
Invictus and stuff like that, because when people buy that, people buy this too.
All right, we're gonna go to Hugo Boss. Boss bottled the original Boss bottled, but back in the day when it first came out, it was called Boss bottled number 6. And I remember buying my first one, and it said number 6 on it.
Yeah. Officially, still, I think at the back it's still called that.
Really?
Yeah. People still mention it by number 6.
It's nice. If I didn't have the intense version, I would still
Yeah.
be wearing the original. But since I have the intense, for me, I mean, eventually I'll have to go back to this because they don't make the intense anymore. But I'm going to tell you right now, I think it's still relevant. It's such a great fragrance. It's sophisticated. It feels like, you know, I used to wear this when I used to dress up. I felt like back then it was a dressy type of fragrance. I mean, not now, but back then, that's how I felt. I'm like, I used to save it for when I dressed up.
I mean, they are very much relevant. Some of these and these brands are backing on their
Popularity.
original scents, and they're releasing flanker after flanker.
So, the notes: apple, plum, lemon, bergamot, oak moss, geranium, cinnamon, mahogany, carnation. Carnation is coming a lot.
Okay.
Vanilla, sandalwood, cedar, vetiver, and olive tree. A whole olive tree, not just a couple of olives. A whole olive
Back
tree.
in the
is
day,
there.
people used to compare it to apple pie. They used to call it the
Okay.
apple pie fragrance because it has that apple pie with the apple and cinnamon.
Yes.
So everyone called it the apple pie fragrance. I remember people saying that. I don't know if they still say it,
I have
but
used the whole bottle of this,
I
but
think I've used it too. I'm not a fan
Yeah.
of it at the moment.
some people move on from it, right? For me, I wore it for many years until I bought the Intense. I wore that. I went through maybe 10 bottles.
okay.
That was
Of this?
I wore this from
Man, you must stink.
when it came out 1999 up until like the mid 2000s or maybe even
Okay.
past. Because then I got the Intense version when
Okay.
it first came out. I think the Intense version came out in 2014. I
Okay.
think.
How long
So
does
that's
the
how long
bottle
I've been
last?
wearing this.
How long does it last?
The old number 6 used to last long. This now, because I guess I don't know if I guess they reformulated it. It doesn't
Of course
last.
it did.
Doesn't really last that long. That's why I moved to the Intense.
I meant the whole bottle. When you wear
Oh.
it, when you use it, how long does each bottle last you?
It used
A
to
week?
last
A
maybe,
week? Yeah, the way he's saying 10 bottles.
maybe 3 months. Because I used to
A
wear
3
it.
month?
I used to wear it. After that, I got to a point where I was wearing it every day because I got really addicted to it,
Okay.
and I was going through a lot of
What
bottles.
do you also?
Yeah. Everywhere.
So, now, any other mentions you want to bring up under the counter?
Yes,
I have nothing.
I'm gonna bring up a fragrance that it means a lot to me, dear to my heart, because my dad used to wear this back when he was a teenager, up until almost the time he passed away, and I still have his
Original?
bottle at the original. It was a Splash back then, and he went through a lot of bottles, but back then this wasn't available in Canada. My aunt in Malta used to send it to my dad by mail. Whenever he ran out, he would write a letter to my aunt and say, "Could you please send me another bottle?" And she used to write always in the sleeve. She would write a little note to him. I still have that to my baby brother Freddie. Love your sister. You know, she used to write little stuff, and I still have it. One day I'll bring it. I'll show it to you guys.
Wow.
But it's Visconti di Madroni, 𝗧𝗵𝘁𝗀𝗴𝗿. It's I believe it's an 𝗬𝗏. It says
Eau de Cologne.
Is 𝗬𝗏, yes. I'm gonna be biased, and I'm gonna say
You like it?
It is relevant to me. It is.
You're saying it's relevant?
I think so.
Okay. I don't think
but
I've
I'm being
I've-
biased. Now you guys be the judge.
Have I? I have probably smelled it. I just
Like I said, this
Never paid
this
attention
was
to it.
released in 1940. So
let's see if the internet works back then.
I like it. This has pine in it for sure. I think. I remember saying to myself,
Ooh,
it has like pine.
that's actually not bad.
I'm getting that cooling effect.
Yeah. Like the vapor up sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could be a lemon or citron or
There is something citrusy in here.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the original bottle.
that's the
That's
old
my
bottle.
dad's bottle right there.
You know, we had a couple of bottles like that too.
Yeah.
1949. Oh, my
49.
god.
Sorry, I said 1940. My bad.
Lemon, basil, bergamot, rosemary. Rosemary probably is what we're smelling.
Yeah.
Lavender, pine tree,
Pine tree, I knew it.
thyme, celery, sage. I remember that one now.
Yeah.
Geranium, cloves. What? Peat? What is peat now? Whatever cedar musk. Okay, I'm learning a whole new
Let me
vocabulary
see.
here.
Yeah.
Looks like a nest of bird nest.
Yeah.
I wonder what that is.
But for me, right off the bat, I got the pine tree. I got the clary sage. Maybe a hint of
The
cloves.
closest thing I can
And a bit of the
relate
bergamot.
this to,
Lavender and
And
that.
there's rosemary.
you might know.
Huh?
Have you ever had strepsils?
Yeah. The throat, right?
Yeah.
Similar to that, yeah. I need that right
When I
now.
smell it, there's times where
Yeah.
when I'm walking around here, I like to smell it. Remind me of my dad. I still have my dad's bottle. I don't want to open it
It is
too much.
it is very good actually.
It's a classic
Natural,
fragrance.
it's for
synthetic,
summer.
popular, and weird.
My dad used to wear this every day to work. That was his work
Okay.
fragrance.
Okay.
The group of peat, the note peat, natural and synthetic, popular and weird.
Okay.
That's the group it's in.
Wow.
Okay.
Dry, bitter, malt-like essence with hint of smokiness used to render novel effect in modern fragrances. Cool.
Well,
That's it.
do you think it's relevant?
I don't think so. No, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I want
don't
you to be
think so.
honest.
I mean,
right?
I was expecting this. It's going to be a very old style.
It's
old
not
school.
that
No,
old,
it's
yeah.
not.
But it's
I would say it's the category of 𝗧𝗵𝘁
Yeah.
or the other scent.
Yeah, that's why I
By
think
the
it's
or, yeah.
relative. Not because my dad wore it,
But
because it's going back to that genre
Yeah.
of classic fragrance. But
Mm.
with this one, it's got pine. Like, for example, you know, the
Yeah.
Pinot Sylvester?
Yes.
A lot of older gentlemen still come to that. But then
Yeah.
I'll tell them, did you ever smell this? Because this has pine too, right?
my idea of something that's relative right now would be if somebody asks you, okay, I'm wearing Savage or those
Yeah.
heavy hitters, 1 million. Would any of these bring people away from that? Will these stand up to those kind of heavy hitters right now? So when I say something relative, then I'm thinking about that. I want to bring people away from, let's say if somebody is using Savage.
Okay.
Can we recommend something from here? Or if somebody's using 1 million,
People,
can we
usually
bring
people
people
that
over?
are a fan of
No, I'm just
Sauvage
saying.
want to stick to that.
Yes.
I'm not talking about fanboys. I'm just
Yeah.
talking about somebody if they are using something overly popular right now, they would
Okay.
want something very
Different?
popular or something that we can bring from an older line.
Yeah, I especially in the fall and winter, I love to
I would say
recommend
this
people.
is the one.
I love to recommend people this
If
one.
Sorry?
they're wearing Savage or Savage Elixir, I think I would
Yeah,
recommend this.
people usually go for stuff like that. Even
It is
cool
because
water. When
it is
we,
the same kind
yeah.
of fragrance.
So when we
they
show
have
even cool water,
intensified or modernized
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Here's a question for you guys before we end the show. Fragrances like Sauvage and 1 million, you think it'll be relevant 20 years from now? Can you be honest and say, will this be popular? Will this still be relevant 20 years? Those type of smells compared to these that were released like 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 40 years ago.
I think it would be. You know
You
why?
You still think?
Yeah.
it will
Because a perfume on its own means nothing. It's the people who've used it.
Yes.
So the way
Yes, that's
Sauvage
it.
has been popularized by a lot of the media and the people who use it, there are a lot of fan behind it. So yes, it's gonna keep it alive. Same with 1 million. People use it,
like
so
the
it's
way
gonna
you
keep it
have
alive.
used this.
Yeah.
I
It's,
tend- I
it's
tend to-
relative
It
because
it
you
comes
used it.
with a memory. Yeah.
I tend to agree, because if you were to ask me that this would be relevant 30 years after it was released, I would have said nah. But a newer generation are discovering these, and I would probably think the same thing 20 years from now. These little kids right now,
Yeah.
20 when they're about, 20 years from now, they'll probably be discovering those
Yeah.
fragrances.
Yes.
So I tend to agree. Shall we end it here?
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
So what was the point of the video?
What was the point of the video? That we
Yeah,
think that
just to
we
talk and show some.
that we think that are still relative. That if people who haven't smelled these before, come to the
Go out
shop
and try.
come and try.
They were
wherever
smelling.
you are, go and try them. See what
Yes.
you guys think. If you think it's still relative, or email us.
And we can send you the smell. Yeah.
and-
How?
Yeah.
Yeah, what send you the smell?
Or
Yeah.
if they email you, how you gonna?
No, email us if they want us to talk. You didn't let me finish. If they want us
That's
to
the
talk
point.
about a fragrance that
Okay.
they think it's relative,
Okay.
we could talk about on another episode.
Yes.
We'd love to hear from you guys and
No.
give us some ideas.
You were talking about trying it out, and then you said
No, I said
email
go-
us. So I
go-
thought maybe
Yeah.
I
you're
was-
sending out mail services or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say email us or I was gonna say comment and let us know what you guys think if these are still relatives. That's what I wanted to say, but I also wanted to say email us.
Or email John. He can send out samples.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll
What?
send,
No?
For sure.
I'll send the papers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sprayed papers.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right,
well, let's end it here.
Yes.
So
Bye bye,
until next time, I'm John.
Samir.
Mohammed.
We'll see you next time.
Bye bye.